Greetings, hey, and welcome to 2023. This is Carrie Konyha at holisticspsychic.com in Sedona, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the energies that are showing up for all of January 2023 and how we can work with those energies to support our soul growth, our personal development, our healing, and putting positive energy in the direction of manifesting whatever our New Year's intentions are. Let's go ahead and dive in. Welcome back, everyone. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the broader scope of energies that are showing up, and then later on I'm going to talk about the details of the astrology. First off, I want to talk about the broad theme of winter. We are officially in the winter season right now, which started on the winter solstice on December 21st, so we're really just about 10 days in, 2 weeks in to winter. And winter is connected to the element of earth. The earth element offers us opportunity to nourish, nurture, root, ground, establish. So these are the energetic themes that are connected to winter in general, but the astrology that's happening this month is also very conducive to these types of energies. One of the most empowering practices that we can get started with right away in January is connected to becoming aware of what your sense is around what you most need to nourish and nurture within yourself. Maybe even doing some journaling around that. I definitely recommend journaling about it, because the more we can sort of write things down, the more clear we can become. Now, Earth is connected to our physical body, our physical environment, but when we're thinking of self-nourishing and self-nurturing, we want to think of that on more of a holistic level. What is it that you need to really nurture, or what are you feeling called to nurture within yourself, physically speaking, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Take some time to consider that. Again, journal about it, write it down so you have more of a concrete idea, and then you're going to be using that as your foundation for growth throughout the month of January. Now, I will say this, on the physical level, which is connected to Earth, there really is a lot to be said for taking care of your physical body and your physical environment. Our physical environment, especially our home, is an extension or an expression of our energy bodies. And so when we take care to put positive energy into our home, we are in effect nurturing ourselves on an energy level. It is true that our physical health and well-being impacts our mental, emotional, and spiritual sense of health and well-being as well. So literally the month of January is a lot about self-nurturing, again, on those physical levels. So on the physical levels, we want to think of the quality of diet, the foods that we're eating. Wintertime is about eating hearty, nourishing foods, root vegetables, hearty stews, warming foods. Again, we want to think warm, hearty, nourishing. We also want to make sure that we're getting plenty of water, especially actually in the wintertime. It's easy to get dehydrated because a lot of us have the heat turned on in our homes. We want to take care to get deep, restful sleep, find time to spend time out in nature. These are just some of the things that are empowerment practices that are connected to the season of winter, and especially connected to these first few weeks of January, as I'll explain a little bit more when I'm talking about the astrology. Whatever we dedicate ourselves to nourishing and nurturing right now is going to be directly connected to where we see the most growth in the year ahead. So choose wisely, right? And you don't have to choose just one particular aspect of yourself to nourish. Again, we want to think of holistic self-nurturing and nurturing, and then as we're moving through the shamanic cycles of power throughout the year, you'll see as we progress through this journey that there's a time and place for putting positive energy ultimately into all of those aspects that we're choosing for ourselves right now. These first few weeks of January are a time of going within and deeply rooting our dedications in alignment with our intentions. It's a really good next few weeks to spend quality me time or alone time every day as a means of fortifying your personal energy field. A big part of this theme of nurturing and nourishing, of course, is connected to self-love, self-care. So doing things that support that, whatever that is, making sure that we move our physical bodies so that the life force energy is continuing to flow strongly through our bodies is a good idea. And we want to invite activities that foster a deep sense of inner peace, which ultimately is going to support all of us in experiencing a deeper clarity of inner guidance regarding what those intentions are that we're setting for ourselves, those growth intentions for the coming year. Some of us may be moving into these first few days of 2023 with a little bit of a sense of emotional trigger or even crisis. And this is because of this intense conjunction between Pluto and Venus that occurred on December 31st. Venus being the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and Pluto being the planet of transformation, comes in the last day of the year, boom, bringing our awareness to what needs to be transformed in order for us all to come into deeper self-love, to embody and reclaim deeper senses of inner harmony. And I want to bring this up because, it is a thing that's going on right now. If you're a person that is coming into the new year feeling a little bit triggered emotionally, then these practices are definitely going to help you. And you want to start by being in acceptance with where you are right now without judgment and just recommitting to your self-love, your self-care. The element of earth also supports us in reestablishing healthy boundaries. Look at creating boundaries from the framework of you doing what you need to do to create a healthy, nurturing, supportive, safe container, so to speak, for whatever it is that you want to empower, energize, activate, claim, express, create, and or manifest in the coming year. So during these first few weeks of January, as I mentioned in the previous video, we're in Capricorn season right now, and the soul growth teachings or the masteries of Capricorn season are connected to renewing your dedication to your sense of self-responsibility, self-reliance, and in Capricorn season, we experience fulfillment through achievements. So again, this is a repeat from the last video, but I just want to remind us all, especially while we're in Capricorn season, which is going to be up until January 21st, this is a really good next few weeks to set small goals for yourself that you can actually accomplish. Now, being that we are in a time of deep nurturing and self-care, it would be most aligned with the energies now to allow your goals to be connected to self-care, self-love, self-nurturing oriented goals. Once we get into Aquarius season at the end of the month, the energy is totally going to shift into a completely different focus, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But let me back it up here and start talking about the astrology that's going on now. Jupiter just went into Aries on December 20th, right around the solstice. This is the first time that Jupiter has been in Aries for the past 12 years, and that's because Jupiter takes about 12 years to go through the zodiac. So all of us collectively right now are on a brand new journey around the zodiac, and that's because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, which brings us into an energy of motivation, initiation, a renewed sense of enthusiasm, passion. We want to drive ourselves forward. And the energy right now, this energy is going to be with us through the first part of the year. And then in mid-May is when Jupiter goes into Taurus, which will be a nice grounding factor. So these next 6 months-ish of the year is an amazing time to initiate new projects. And again, it all starts with rooting and grounding in our intentions first, which is where we're at right now. On January 2nd, we have Venus moving into Aquarius. Venus being the planet of love, beauty, harmony, friendships, attraction, aesthetic, things like that. Moving into Aquarius becomes more about our connection to the collective. During the time that Venus is in Aquarius, we're all going to feel compelled to reach out, make connections. We get a little bit of a break from the intense energy that just happened with the Venus-Pluto conjunction in the sign of Capricorn, where as Venus moves into Aquarius, we can feel a little bit more detached from our emotions. So those of you who maybe have had some emotional triggers come up with that conjunction we just had, once Venus goes into Aquarius on January 2nd, the mood will lighten up. And even though we're in this time of going within, nurturing, things like that, there's definitely going to be a vibe of wanting to reach out, make connections with friends. So that more than likely is not going to feel like going out, partying up, but having phone calls, FaceTime, connecting with people, reconnecting with those people, establishing connections with relationships that you want to nurture throughout the coming year. On January 6th, we have the first full moon of the year, which is in the sign of Cancer, which of course further supports this self-care, self-love, nurturing, going within, nesting type of energy. And here, actually, let me go ahead and put up an image here that highlights the activity that we're having astrologically throughout the whole month. So you can pause the video if you want, you can screenshot it so that you have it for future reference throughout the month. So go ahead and take a look at that. And here we go. The next thing coming up is on January 12th, we have Mars going direct in the sign of Gemini. Mars has been retrograde for several months now. Being that Mars is an assertive, action-oriented energy, it's been in Gemini, which makes our activity be more in the direction of what we're thinking, what we're analyzing. Retrograde has brought that energy a little bit more inward, inwardly analyzing, thinking things through. Now that Mars is going direct, we're going to have an opportunity to start sketching out some plans, taking some actions that are connected to whatever ideas we've become aware of, whatever incentives, whatever motivations, whatever inspirations we've come to the awareness of during the retrograde period. So that's coming up on January 12th. And then on January 18th, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Capricorn. When Mercury is in Capricorn, we do have a tendency to be more focused. And Mercury went retrograde on December 29th, just a few days before the new year. So we're coming into the new year with this Mercury retrograde energy, but you know, it really supports this theme of inward considerations that we've got going on right now, right? What do I need to nurture within myself? Mercury retrograde in Capricorn enables us to be clear in our focus and enables us to find that feeling of commitment towards our focus. And again, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Capricorn on January 18th. So obviously we want to remember that when Mercury is retrograde, it's more of a time of reevaluating, reconsidering, in what areas you want to have rebirth, if I'm overlaying this energy on top of the broader themes that are showing up for us right now. In fact, I want to say here that the time range between, we'll say the 18th, when Mercury goes direct, through the 22nd, there's a big shift of energy that is going to impact us all in the way that we start feeling like, okay, I'm ready to get out and about. I've tended to my self-care. I've gone within. I'm in my alignment. I'm ready to get out into the world. And so let's talk about how that's showing up. So that's showing up not only with Mercury direct in Capricorn, which is going to really ignite that boost of I'm ready to take action. We also have the sun moving into Aquarius on January 20th. The wisdom teachings, the masteries that are connected to Aquarius season are all about sort of giving our life an overhaul. We take a look at areas of our life that we feel have become stale or that we've outgrown or that are old, outdated, not working for us. And we're in the spirit of being in our innovative selves. We crave freedom. We crave connection to the collective. And so as you can see, the energy is definitely shifting into a different tone later on in the month of January. In fact, we also have the new moon happening in Aquarius on January 21st, which also marks the beginning of the Chinese New Year. So the Lunar New Year, which is happening the 21st, 22nd, depending on where you're at in the world, actually is the best time to start being actively engaged and involved with things that are connected to your New Year's resolutions or whatever your intentions are for yourself in the coming year. These first few weeks are all about getting clear, doing the inner work, setting the space, setting the parameters, setting the energetic foundation. And then later on in the month, beginning around January 21st, 22nd, is really when we're going to be feeling ready to spring into action. So just give yourself these next few weeks to nest, nurture, hibernate, go within, do some healing work, tend to your self-care. Another big thing that's happening on January 22nd, Uranus goes direct in the sign of Taurus. Uranus is connected to cosmic mind. It's connected to unexpected development. It's also connected to innovation. So you can see all the way around, we've got this energy of revitalization, renewal shining in, starting around, that third week of January. And then also, once Uranus goes direct on the 22nd of January, all planets are going to be direct at that point. So this last week of January and then moving forward into February is a really empowering time where we can put positive energy in the direction of whatever our intentions are. Venus goes into Pisces by the end of the month on January 26th. And so that is going to also lend itself to heightened creative inspiration. Right now, we're in this cocooning phase, so to speak, but we're coming into more vibrance, more inspiration, awareness, and motivation as we're coming into the end of the month. Now, I do want to pull some cards here and just get some additional sacred wisdom teaching for us all on that collective level around the energies, how the energies are shaping up, maybe some additional insights around how we can work with the energies and what the outcomes could be. So let me just go ahead and give these a few shuffles here. I felt guided to work with my World Spirit Tarot deck today. This is by Lauren O'Leary. I will put a link underneath in the description here on where you can purchase this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. I've been working with it for about 20 years. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what wants to come up here. And here we go. Here's one, here's two, and here's three. Awesome. All right. We have the Two of Cups, the Sun card, and the Temperance. So I'm going to talk about this. Let me just take a look here. The Two of Cups is all about the energy of sharing. So this is definitely going to be connected to that Aquarian energy that's coming in. And it really is that Aquarian season energy is beginning to creep in a little bit early in January when Venus goes into Aquarius. So the energy of sharing, the energy of connecting, interacting, enjoying friendly companionship. It could be talking about collaborating with ideas and things you want to do with people throughout the coming year and things like that. The Sun card, rebirth, renewal, revitalization. This is, of course, the energy that we're in now as we're coming into the new year. And then the Temperance card. When I look at the Temperance card, on a more mundane level, the Temperance card represents patience, right? But I always say it's not just like idly standing by and waiting to see what life is going to dish out to you. It's more like consciously holding space. I want to connect this back to what I was saying about the setting boundaries, reestablishing boundaries, or revitalizing your boundaries, and seeing boundaries as being, again, that container that you're creating for yourself that's going to suit or serve or support whatever it is energetically that you need to experience, create, manifest, embody, activate whatever it is that you feel guided to this year. So this is really just like a big confirmation of what we've already been talking about. I really feel that for a lot of us, the Sun card is what we want to focus on, because this is that revitalization energy. And again, it's when we are feeling revitalized all the way around, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which leads us to being in our mind, body, spirit harmony, our mind, body, spirit flow state. That's really the energy that we need to be in order to manifest, right? When we're in our flow state, we are a super manifester because we're dialed in, we're connected to ourselves, we're connected with the universe. If we're at all disjointed, if we have stress, anxiety, depression, illness, injury, all of those things mess with our vibe, right? And so we want to do our best wherever you're at in the here and now. Again, accepting where you're at in the here and now, even if you are a person who's dealing with emotional triggers, anxieties, illnesses, injuries, depressions, whatever, accept yourself with where you're at right now and let this be your starting point from where you're renewing your commitment to self-empowerment. Take some time to really reflect and meditate on this energy and allow yourself to connect to it as a part of what's really fortifying the energetic foundations that you're establishing for yourself right now. Okay, guys, I'm going to be chiming in again with a full moon update, a new moon update, and then as we're getting closer to Aquarius season, I'll be chiming in again with sacred wisdom teachings, soul growth, the masteries of the Aquarius season as well. For those of you who are intending to be on this journey with me throughout the year, chime in below, introduce yourself, let us all know where you're from. Feel free to ask any questions. If there's anything that you would like for me to address in these future videos, I'm happy to do that. All my love, guys. Blessings. Namaste. Blessed be. And I'll see you around the corner in the next video.